you know, the Summer Olympics will begin next month in Paris, but already one Glenview native has her sights set on the next Winter Olympics a year and a half from now in Milan, Italy.
Well, Jackie Kostek here to introduce us to a world champion pair skater.
Yes.
Right? Who made history this year as the oldest woman to win a figure skating world championship. Wow.
Are you guys ready to be inspired?
Yes.
Yes.
Because
always.
This is one of my favorite stories that I've told in a really long time, and for good reason.
50%. This, her footwork into the triple Lutz. Nicely done.
At 16 years old, Deanna Stellato-Dudek was the best junior skater in the world.
So I had a lot of good standings in the junior division. And then the next year is when I was going to move up and go into the senior division.
But before she could make the jump up in competition, she injured her hip flexor, a devastating injury doctors warned would be recurring.
And it was about a year before the Olympic trials in 2002. So I was going to miss those Olympic trials if I couldn't train the way I wanted to. And so I thought, well, I guess I should just forget it and move on. And that's what I did.
For the next 16 and a half years, Stellato-Dudek did move on, but she never fully forgot her Olympic dream.
I happened to be at a work retreat, and we were doing a fun little exercise. Everybody had a note card on the table, and then when it got to your turn, you raised up the note card and you would read what was on it. And my note card said, "What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?" And I just immediately blurted out without thought, "Oh, I'd win an Olympic gold medal." And I just thought that if I said it like that without thought, that it must still be something deep down that I desire and that I really want. And I gave myself the permission to allow myself to try. So I asked my mom for my 16-year-old boots and blades, which she luckily still had in her basement, and started to skate again.
Did it feel like coming home?
Yes, definitely. I remember the first time I got on the ice and skated really fast across, and you feel the wind in your face. And there's just nothing like that feeling.
It wasn't just the feeling that came back, but the muscle memory. Within 3 months, Stellato-Dudek was once again landing every triple jump. And while Stellato-Dudek got back on the ice for herself, she told herself that this time around, she wouldn't say no to anything that was offered to her, including a suggestion from the U.S. figure skating director that she consider pairs.
I joke with pairs that I fell in love at first lift. I loved being lifted, I loved being thrown. So it was something I felt like I was actually always meant to do. And I was asked when I was younger, but I always said no. So it's kind of funny how things come full circle.
Things came full circle again when this March, at the age of 40, Stellato-Dudek found herself atop the podium. Once again, the best in the world, and making history as the oldest woman to ever win a world championship.
But I never really thought about breaking any type of age barrier or records or anything like that. But I'm so proud to have been able to do that. I feel like I am someone who wants to show the millennials of my generation, that if you have a dream or you have something else in life that you want to pursue, whether it's a sport or whether it's another degree or whether it's a different job or a side hustle or whatever you want to call it, that you absolutely can do it. I really want them to see me and think, oh, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it. It's pretty crazy. I've actually.
But Stellato-Dudek is far from done. Her sights are still set on Olympic gold. And as the reigning world champion, her lifelong dream has never been more within reach.
I envision myself like standing on top of the podium, like having the peripheral vision of the other two spots being, below me to the right and to the left, and then like receiving my medal, like when you bend down to, it's important to visualize those things. And so I absolutely do that, and I will continue to do that for the next 2 years before the Olympics. And I will also visualize receiving my passport. I need that too.
Yes, let's get that first and then the medal second. Yes, perfect.
Exactly.
So Stellato-Dudek jokes about also visualizing getting her passport. So she currently represents Canada with her Canadian partner, Maxime. She does have permanent residency in Canada, but has to have full citizenship to be able to represent Canada at the Milan Olympics. So she said there is precedent for being able to get that passport in time, but she says she will not be stress-free until her Olympic dream is in her hands and not in the hands of the Canadian government in giving her citizenship. So pretty intense, but I mean, she'll be 42 at that Olympics, which is wild.
That's amazing,
Yes,
and
yes.
it just goes to show you that you can continue to strive for any of your goals.
Yes.
I mean, unless you have serious limitations, for as long as, you care to do so.
Which it is wild, though, because most figure skaters, as with most gymnasts, I mean, you hit your peak in your early 20s, maybe as a teenager. Sometimes people only have one Olympic window. So for her to be the current world champion at 40 years old is just wild, and to actually be in a position to chase this Olympic dream at that age.
I think it's amazing.
Crazy. Yeah.
And I think it sends a really great message to an awful lot of people.
I agree.
I really do.
Yep.
Hey,
Never too old. Go for it.
Right, go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah, and I love the manifestation aspect of it too. I know we got to move on to weather, but I'm like, man, just manifesting it and saying it and then putting the work behind it for all of these years.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, we're cheering her.
Okay,
on.
good.
Can't wait. Keep us posted.
This
Yeah,
story
we
continues,
will.
Jackie. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be great. We're excited. No,
I'm glad I got you guys on board.
We're gonna know.
Yeah.
Wishing her all the best on this journey.
100%.